Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This is going to be one of the last few videos I'm going to be making. As I mentioned in a previous video, as of Christmas Eve this year, I will no longer be creating content for this channel, at least for the foreseeable future. There is a very slim chance I might come back to it every now and then, but not necessarily, because due to my real life obligations, I'm having trouble finding time to actually create content any longer. You know, when I first started out doing this, I was doing a video a day. Now I'm struggling to even do 2, 3, maybe even 4 a month. And you know, looking after my disabled mother takes up a lot of my time, and it's just getting difficult to find the time to do this. So, you know, like I said, this is going to be one of the last videos I will ever be producing for this channel for the time being. But as it is, this is another Patreon request. It should have come earlier, but of course earlier this month I also tore a muscle in my leg, so I've had a lot of appointments and all that sort of stuff. You know, I'm hobbling around on a walking stick at the moment. Yeah, I'm on a walking stick. I'm officially old. So yeah, this is why this one's coming a little bit later than it normally would have. But anyway, this is a request that came in from Mistress Vicious, and she's asked me to look at a band called Starcrawler. Never heard of them before. So, of course, I had to look them up. And it says, Starcrawler is an American rock band from Los Angeles, formed in 2015. So they've only been around for about 10 years. So, you know, relatively new in the grand scheme of things, but, you know, still been around for a while. The band consists of lead singer Arrow DeWild, guitarist Henry Cash, bassist Tim Franco, and drummer Seth Carolina, and pedal steel guitar player Billy Cash. Steel guitar. Interesting. They've released 3 studio albums called Starcrawler, Devour You, and She Said. Starcrawler's lead singer and Arrow DeWild and guitarist Henry Cash both attended Los Angeles Grand Arts High School. DeWild is the child of photographer Autumn DeWild and drummer Aaron Spersky. Whoever that is. No idea who that is. Who is Aaron Spersky? Aaron Spersky is an American drummer who has played for several bands including Beachwood Sparks, Father John Misty, Lily's Miracle Workers, Ariel's Pink Haunted Graffiti, the Chaplin Sisters, and the Panisse Brothers. Whoever any of those, I have no idea who any of those are. Anyway, yeah, it just says they're an American rock band, but the fact that they've got a steel guitar going on sounds interesting. So, yeah, I have no idea what to expect from this, so we'll just jump straight into it and see what we have. Now, I have lyrics here, and yeah, so we're going to be looking at a track today called Learn to Say Goodbye, which seems quite apt, actually, considering this is going to be one of my last videos. But it might not necessarily have that kind of a meaning. Who knows? We'll just jump in and see what we've got. So, Learn to Say Goodbye by Starcrawler. Let's have a look.
It's all my fault.
Well, there you go. Learn to Say Goodbye by Starcrawler. That's very reminiscent of sort of late 80s, early 90s sort of punk, sort of, well, sort of pop punk, I suppose. But that's not right. It's got a very distinctive sound, which kind of reminds me of like late 80s and early 90s rock/metal, especially certain girl-fronted bands. I mean, you could probably compare it to the likes of Hole, maybe. I mean, it doesn't sound an awful lot like Hole, but it's that similar sort of era, sort of sound. It's a very interesting video. It seemed very, very homemade, shall we say, and somewhat disorganised. I mean, they were all sort of thrashing about in the background of the video while she was thrashing around on the beach. Anyway, so interesting. It's not necessarily something I would listen to of my own accord. It's not something I would go out of my way to listen to, but I don't hate it. Now, this seems to be talking about, and I'm gonna go there again. It seems to be talking about a failed relationship, and basically her telling the other interested party, you've just got to learn to let it go. It's over. It's done with. That's what it seems to be suggesting. I mean, it starts with, where did we go wrong? Was it all my fault? I need to catch my breath because it almost stopped. Wish I had a chance to press restart and never drift apart. You'd never drift apart. So, I mean, that literally says everything, where did we go wrong? Was it all my fault? So, something's happened between us. The whole relationship went wrong. Was it my fault? I need to catch my breath because it almost stopped. So, it sounds like it happened all so very, very suddenly that, it took the wind out of it, sort of thing. I wish I had the chance to press restart and never drift apart. You'd have to never drift apart. So, she wishes there was a chance to go back and fix it and start all over again, and try and pick up where, try and figure out where it went wrong so they can avoid it again. But they're like, wish I had the chance, so it's too late now. Maybe it's completely irreconcilable now. You said, oh, don't leave me here. The lights went out and I just kept on dreaming. Did you stop believing? So it doesn't give a sort of clear indication as to who this, who might have been at fault with this relationship. I mean, it might not even be talking about a romantic relationship. It could be talking about friends. It could be even talking about a professional relationship, in a way. Because there's no indication necessarily that there's no indication that it is actually a romantic relationship as yet. Who knows? It's just a relationship of some kind has gone wrong. So you said, oh, don't leave me here, and the lights went out and I just kept on dreaming. Did you stop believing? So the other interested party is like, please don't go, don't leave me here, I don't want you to go. And then the lights went out and I just kept on dreaming. So did they both want the relationship to succeed, but there was just something there that made them fall apart? Is there something that did they just drift apart? There was no one particular person at fault. It's just the whole thing just fell apart. Who knows? So, because she said the lights went out and I just kept on dreaming. So it sounds like she wanted the relationship to continue. He wanted the relationship to continue, but there was no foundation for the relationship to continue. Maybe it just sort of fallen so flat that, it was irreparable. I don't know. Because it says there, did you stop believing? Initially she's asking if she was at fault, and now she's asking, are you at fault? Did you stop believing in this relationship? But she's also saying that the other person doesn't want, is saying, don't leave me here. So it seems like a very sort of confused message going on here. They told me to let it go, just let you go, but I said no. Yeah, I said no. So this sounds like there's a third party, perhaps friends, that are saying, you need to get out of this. Maybe the friends see something in a relationship that she's not seeing. Again, it could be a friendship, it could be a romantic relationship, it could be professional, it could be, any other kind of relationship. But it sounds like friends or an outside party have turned around and gone, you really should get out of this, because maybe they're seeing something that she's not seeing. And, they're telling her, let it go, just let you go. So they're telling me to let you go, to walk away from you. But I said no, she didn't want to walk away because there was something between her and this second party in the relationship. So there was something there, but her friends are telling her to walk away. And essentially this relationship happened to fall apart. Excuse me. No phone call, yeah, it's all my fault. Now your time's run out and the line's been crossed. Put your roses down to let them dry and learn to say goodbye. You should learn to say goodbye. So no phone call, it's all my fault. So maybe they'd had an argument, maybe they'd gone their sort of separate ways. Maybe they were on a break.
We were on a break!
And, they've left it too long to sort of reconcile. Maybe, they might have had a decent relationship, they might have really, really cared about each other, but they had an argument or a falling out or something, and they sort of went their separate ways. And now so much time has passed, neither one of them has made it. Oh, she says no phone call, yeah, it's all my fault. So, she could have made the phone call to go, look, let's get back together, let's have a chat, let's talk this through. But they've left it so long now that it is just not salvageable. The line's been crossed, so we've gone too far and too deep into this now that it's not salvageable. So put your roses down and let them dry. So, there's no point in turning up to my house with roses anymore. Just put them down, let them dry. Essentially just let the flowers die. And learn to say goodbye. Learn to let go, learn to walk away. This has gone too far. It's broken down. There's nothing salvageable anymore. Then it goes back into that. You said, oh, don't leave me here. The lights went out and I just kept on dreaming. Did you stop believing? They told me to let it go, just let you go, but I said no. Yeah, I said no. There's no one to let you down, no one to save you now. So she feels like she let him down in the past probably, and she's like, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You're not going to have this person in your life who's going to keep letting you down. No one to save you now. So obviously there's... Excuse me. Very, very dry and scratchy throat today for some reason. Anyway, so she's saying, there's no one to let you down and there's no one to save you now. So there's these two sort of sides to their relationship. Maybe she'd helped him through tough times, or this other party, should I say, through tough times, but also at the same time there have been times where she's let them down and, not been the best sort of friend, partner, or whatever. So, yeah. I'm too tired to try anymore, and I've heard enough for now. And then you say, oh, don't leave me here. The lights went out. I kept on dreaming. Did you stop believing? So I'm too tired to try anymore. Like I said, it sounds like they've had this separation, and they've gone their separate ways. Maybe it's just an argument, and they've just had this we were on a break moment, and they've gone their separate ways and they've left it too long, And where was it? I'm too tired to try anymore. It's like too much time has gone, and honestly, I just can't. I don't have the energy to keep on trying to fix this. It's too much time has gone by, that sort of thing. They tell me to let it go, just let you go, but I said no. Yeah, I said no. Oh, don't leave me here, don't leave me here, don't leave me here believing. So there's still an element there, believing that something might be salvageable, but like I said, it seems like too much as time has gone by, too many things have happened, and it's not salvageable anymore. So that's what it seems to be talking about. It seems to be talking about a relationship that has gone bad, whether it be a friendship, a romantic relationship, a professional relationship, or whatever, I don't know. But it's some kind of relationship has gone bad, and it's not necessarily been catastrophically bad, but it's been bad enough that they've sort of stepped away from each other for a little bit, and too much time has gone by, and now it's impossible to reconcile and fix said relationship, even though they both cared for each other. So it seems, one saying, please don't leave me here, she's saying that she didn't want to let it go. So there is still that element there that they still feel a connection with each other, but something has come between them to stop them from rekindling said relationship. So yeah. And like I said, it's an interesting piece of music. It's not necessarily something I myself would listen to voluntarily. I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it, but I don't hate it. If it was put on and it was being played, I wouldn't object to it. I wouldn't mind. But it's not something I would personally go out of my way to listen to. I don't mind that sort of punky, sort of metal rock sort of music. I don't mind it, but there are other things I'd rather listen to, if you get my meaning. So, yeah, not bad. So, yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Now, obviously they're talented musicians. I'm a little bit let down that they didn't have the slide guitar, the steel or slide guitar or pedal guitar, as they put it, in there, because I would have been intrigued to see how that was sort of brought into the mix. So I might investigate them in my own time to find out more about that, but who knows. But, yeah, like I said, I don't know what else I can say on it, so I will leave that as it is. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this will be one of the last videos I will be producing for this channel for the foreseeable future. Like I said, there is a very small chance that I might come back to it at a later date. Occasionally there might be an odd song that might pop up that might catch my interest, but as a consistent thing, I'm not going to be making any more videos for this channel after Christmas Eve, December 24th. So yeah, it's getting too difficult for me to find the time to actually create this, because I've got a lot going on in my life. I'm constantly running around after people, I'm constantly doing other things, and this, that and the other, and it's just difficult to find the time. And any decent reaction channel should be putting out a constant stream of content, like on a schedule sort of thing, and I just can't do that. As it is, I posted a video, I can't remember how many days ago, and I said the next video will be coming in a couple of days, and it's now almost the 20th of December, and that's because I've had other things that I've had to do, and I've had all these appointments for my leg and everything like that. So yeah, everything just seems to be getting in the way, and it's just getting more and more difficult to create content. So yeah, though there might be another video before December 24th, but I don't know, honestly. So this could very well be the last video that I put out on this channel. But there you go. I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to thank every single person that has helped support and follow me over the years. Everybody who's liked, everybody who's subscribed, I really want to thank you, because I've really enjoyed what I've done. I've done this for about close to 8 years now, and I've had good fun. I've discovered some amazing new music. I've made some amazing new friends, and I did this because I love music. I wanted to discover new music. I wanted to share new music with people who may not have heard certain bands before. I know I've done that. I know I've introduced people to bands they might not have heard before, and that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to talk about what the songs were about. Investigate the themes, the meanings, and the morals of music, because it's something that often gets overlooked. Most of these reaction channels that you see, they'll look at a song, listen to it and go, yeah, I liked it, no I didn't, and that's normally about all you get. But the thing is, these musicians, these artists, they put a lot of time and effort into crafting these pieces of music. They write messages into their lyrics. They want to tell you something, whether they're talking about things like depression, mental health, homelessness, veterans going unnoticed, domestic violence, these sorts of things. They craft these messages into their songs, and they go widely ignored by a vast majority of reactors. And there are some people who have popped up on my channel, looked at one of my videos and gone, do you know what, I didn't actually know that, or I didn't think of it that way. And it's something I've long said, is the fact that music is a universal language. It speaks to everybody. And, you could interpret a piece of music one way and it could mean something completely different to somebody else. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have that conversation. I wanted to have that discussion. What did a song mean to you? The song I looked at today, it might mean something completely different to somebody else. Like I said, I thought it was about a relationship that has fallen apart for some reason and they just can't fix it. But that it might mean something completely different to somebody else. I don't know. This is why I did what I did, because I wanted to have that sort of conversation. I wanted to find different perspectives of how to look at a piece of music, and it's something that no other reactor really that I've seen has done, and I've looked at many reactors over the years, and there are some that I really like, there are some that are bloody awful, but I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to do something interesting that might capture the interest of other people. And I know I've done that for some people. Other people said I talk too much. I don't know. To me, reacting to a piece of music is reacting to the piece of music, not just listening to it and going, yeah, it was all right. That is a reaction in and of itself. That's true. But, I wanted to actually react to the song. What were they talking about? What was the themes and the morals that they were trying to get across in the story? And, that's why I did what I did. And, a fair few people didn't like it, but there are some people who did. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just waffling on. But like I said, there's a possibility there won't be any more videos coming out of me from this point on. I might manage maybe one more before I actually call it completely quits on December 24th. But yeah, like I said, there is a chance in the future that I might produce more videos, but I don't know. As the way my life is going at the moment, I'm basically putting it on indefinite hiatus. So there we go. But anyway, like I said, I'm waffling on now. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you all have good holidays if I don't see you before then. Bye bye.